Hi virtual learners, I'm back with a little bit more of Lulu and the Brontosaurus. So the last thing that had happened is that Lulu had met a snake and a tiger in the forest. They both wanted to kill her, but Lulu hurt them and kept trudging on through the forest. Let's see what happens next. Chapter 7. As the afternoon turned into late afternoon and then into early evening, Lulu trudged even deeper into the forest. When she felt hungry, she opened her suitcase and took out a pickle sandwich. I'm going to stop right there. How do you feel about pickles? Some people love them, and some people hate them. Now, I am in the camp of people who really love pickles. I don't know, though, if I would want a pickle sandwich. I would probably want some other things on there, like at least cheese, maybe some meat. Pickle sandwich. Interesting. When she felt cold, she took out a sweater and socks. And when it got buggy, she opened her suitcase and took out some bug spray and sprayed. She was feeling a little tired, but she kept trudging and swinging her suitcase and singing her song. Think you can sing it with me? I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. Now, a big black bear who liked listening to the music that insects make in the early evening couldn't hear their song because Lulu's was louder. Plus, a lot of the insects were deader because Lulu kept on spraying them with her spray. This made him mad. Then madder than that. He growled a thunderous growl, and then he lumbered heavily down the forest path and stood on his two hind legs in front of Lulu. Waving a big clawy paw in her face, he said, "You've interrupted my favorite program!" Please don't give me any argument. In my story, bears are allowed to have favorite programs. So I'm going to scratch you to pieces with my claws. Okay, time out. Let's think. So Lulu ran into a snake and a tiger. What did she do to them? What do you predict she's going to do to this bear? The only way to check a prediction is to keep reading. Lulu glared at the big black bear and put her hands on her hips. "Nobody's scratching me," she told the bear. Then she jumped as high as she possibly could in the air. Then she landed as hard as she possibly could on his foot. The bear yelled, "Oh!" and went limping away as fast as a bear could limp with one stomped foot. And after shaking some broken bear toenails off the bottoms of her bear stomping shoes, Lulu went trudging deeper into the forest. Lulu is definitely not making any friends in this forest, is she? Chapter 8. Lulu was now in the deepest, darkest, quietest part of the forest. She was getting quite late. It was getting quite late, and she was getting quite tired. She took her sleeping bag out of her suitcase, spread it on the ground, and lay down to sleep. But before she slept, she sang her song once more. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a... Actually, she never even got to sing that last line because before she could get to it, she was sleeping. Chapter 8 1/2. At dawn, Lulu awoke to the sound of birds calling to one another, and the dusky, musky smell of the forest floor, and the smell of a gentle late summer breeze blowing across her face, and the taste, because she hadn't bothered to brush her teeth before bedtime, of yesterday's pickle sandwich. She also woke to the sight of something so huge, so enormous, so utterly gigantic that she thought, no, she was sure that she was still dreaming. It looked like a mountain, except this mountain had legs, a very long neck, and a very small head. It was, as I'm sure you have already figured out, the Brontosaurus that Lulu had been searching for. I love the illustrator's pictures because I really get an idea of how small Lulu is and how big the Brontosaurus is. We'll find out what happens next time now that Lulu has actually seen this Brontosaurus. See you then.